Today we give thanks to all those who helped, for tomorrow is Thanksgiving in everyone's house. A thank you to Gem, our precious DEM. A thank you to Tiki, who's just a big sweetie. A thank you to Spazz, who edits it all. A thank you to our players who bring joy to us all. A thank you to the viewers, past, present, and future. We're 5 episodes in, but it's been such a big pleasure. A wild ride of fun, and there's still more to come. A warning before you go to enjoy the next show. Some technical difficulties were had throughout, and we thank you for being understanding as we figure this out.
If we last remember, we left our players. They were making their final preparations for the journey into the mines. In this time, several things seem to happen. And yet, only a few experience it. But we begin in around the midday hour. And we witness our players gather together, making the last few checks upon their gear and getting ready to delve in to the mine and perhaps subdue, slaughter, many have word, this creature that they have figured out. It may be a brick, or it may be something else. We shall find out. So we will start with our group together. Just on the pathway leading up to the mines that Sir Igneous had mentioned to them previously. Doing the last bit of counting of their gear, the three with the backpacks, you shrug them on alongside your own backpacks that hold your personal belongings. Or you may have merged the two up together. Your choice. Either way, just to remind everyone that the backpacks that they had received had 5 torches, about 10 pitons, which for reference is the iron spikes that can go into solid rock with a hammer. And in 2 of the backpacks there is a pickaxe. Not the best pickaxe, but a fairly usable one. And you are ready to set off. Some of the miners had wished your group good luck. And even some of the guards around had wished you good luck. Anyway.
I would like to give my backpack to Kiira so that she'll have a backpack with a pickaxe as she goes into the cave.
Kiira gladly accepts it.
Alright then. So the pair of you switch backpacks, hand over a backpack. And your group begin to travel up the not sheer but uphill climb towards the entrance to the mine. As you go, you see that there is less plant life the further you go up. Less shrubbery, grass, trees, and the like. And it becomes a more rocky, unstable sort of terrain. But thankfully, you are on a pathway of sorts that the guards and the miners have been using for perhaps a month's time, so the ground is fairly smooth. And there doesn't seem to be any areas that would be particularly unstable. It doesn't take you long to reach the entrance to the mine. About 10 to 15 minutes, roughly. What you're presented with is a opened hole in the side of a mountain. There are wooden beams seeming to be holding and supporting the roof and the sides of this hole. On the outside of the where you are standing seems to be a rounded clearing with boxes, barrels, mine carts, just scattered around in no particular order or organization. There's a couple of miners hovering around and even a few guards. At this point is the group splitting up into their scouting party and the group that is remaining outside.
Kiira looks around and tries to. Does she notice anything interesting, or is there? What are the miners? How do they seem? Like, or the guards? What is the atmosphere here?
All right, roll a perception for me, as you are being quite specific of what you're looking for.
13.
13. The atmosphere itself seems to be rather tense, a bit nervous. The miners are seemingly huddled together, and the guards are shifting on their feet, very much alert. There doesn't look to have been any sort of reason for this tension to be taking place, but nonetheless, you feel a sense of unease.
Would that have been due to the mine collapsing earlier, or I suppose you're not going to tell me that. I don't
Put it
think
this way.
Knell is outgoing enough to go ask them why. She's probably just gonna assume that it was due to the mine collapse. If anyone else wants to go ask.
Kiira could actually. She goes to the to a miner and asks them if anyone has been in the cave now recently since the cave collapsed.
Yeah, there's been a few who have ventured inside, but we haven't seen them really since. But we haven't heard any more rocks falling, so I don't think it's collapsed. They're probably just deeper inside. We're just waiting for them to come back.
So there are
Which
people in there right now?
Currently, yeah.
Oh dear.
are they mining or are they just looking around.
They're doing collection. Collecting up some of the loose stone from the floor. Less hazardous that way.
Do you have what part of the cave collapsed this time? Could you, I don't know, could you show us somehow? We don't have a map of the cave, don't we?
Well, some of the miners look at each other, and then somewhat a younger looking miner like speaks up. Well, one of us can show you where the collapsed tunnel is, but we're not going to go much further than that.
That would be very much appreciated. What do you think, Alyn?
She says she's fine with it, though but she thought they were going to be a little more stealthy so that they didn't attract the attention of the creature.
They're going to take us to the cave collapse, but after that, we will still have to approach further more more as stealthy, and there's already currently people inside, so we might see them on the way. They aren't going to be stealthy. They're grabbing some rocks.
All right then. Somewhat the young miner seems to have almost drawn the short straw, and has moved to stand in front of the entrance to the mine, and seems to be waiting for whoever is going to join him in venturing inside.
Sure. Lead the way.
So who's joining the miner? Just so I'm clear.
Kiira, yeah.
So Kiira and Alyn?
Yeah.
I think Knell will probably set up station outside of the mouth of the cave just so that she can listen and know if anything goes wrong.
Yep. That's absolutely fine. Alright then. So the young miner nods to the pair of you, to Kiri and Alyn. Or Alyn. Anyway. And leads you inside. It's a noticeable temperature drop when you enter the mine. Due to the obvious what's the word? Enclosed space. It is a lot colder. There is what seems to be a diversion of the path that you are on. Already, not long after you enter the mine, but it doesn't go far down from what you can see of torchlight, due to what seems to be a cave collapse. The young miner somewhat points to a torch that's on the wall, flickering with a low burning flame. There's, in all the known parts of the mine, there are torches scattered around. It's best to keep an eye out for those. They're like markers. If you see these, you're close to the surface. Okay.
That's good to know. Thank you for pointing that out.
No problem. It's common sense for when you're in this type of job to have at least some sort of marker. You'll find that in all mines. There'll be some sort of common marker. It will let you know if you're heading deeper or closer to the surface. Anyway, he says, as he leads you further in, past the first torch marker. And then he points down a tunnel to your left. In there is like a storage area. Suddenly a miner points to a tunnel that leads to the left, where a rather bright orange glow seems to resonate from. Down there is a fire pit, as well as storage boxes and any like sort of equipment that you might need for like deeper in the mines when we have to build like new supports and that. Through the right over there is another collapsed tunnel. That was the one that collapsed earlier.
Earlier today or earlier?
Earlier today. It's one of our oldest tunnels. We were shocked when it suddenly started to collapse.
Okay. Do you have any idea where the other miners seem to be? Are they further on, or?
It could be that they're actually down this tunnel. He says, usually when a tunnel collapses, we try to remove some of the rock. So if we have to go back down one of these tunnel areas for any reason, it's less likely to cause a health problem. We try to stay safe.
Okay.
Either way, if you carry on down this corridor, you'll soon get to a big open space. There's a couple of beds in there, more torches, a couple of boxes as well, even fresh water in a barrel, if you need it. From there should be a tunnel directly across from you that leads to two more collapsed tunnel entrances, and there's another collapsed one on your left. But if you go to the right through that tunnel, there's a somewhat semi-steep incline that leads down towards apparently where everything keeps happening.
Kiira keeps remembering the map in her head, and she understands where they are?
Somewhat the miner nods, right, wringing his hands together. Well, if that's everything, I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I wish you luck. You see him scamper off quite quickly towards the surface tunnel. Now you see the young miner come back out and immediately head for the group of miners that have been hovering around. So,
Before he left, Alyn had said thank you right before he left.
yeah, he gave a wave in acknowledgement, but he's not keen to exactly stick around.
It's gonna focus on the
Yes.
tunnel and listening. So
Yeah. So far,
she's actively listening, so that wouldn't be just passive perception, right?
no, that would be active perception. So that would be a roll.
Okay, so if anything happens, I suppose I'll have to roll for it.
Yes. If I remember correctly, tabaxis have keen hearing, correct? Tabaxi.
I'm not sure.
Hang on, I'm bringing them up now. Size, fetal energy, cat claws.
They should have keen hearing, given those
Right.
ears.
Yep. You've already got it. It's called Cat's Talent. It's proficiency in perception and stealth skills. So you add your proficiency bonus every time you roll for perception or stealth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do have those under my proficiencies. Okay.
Yeah. It's a good thing we always check. We always check the rules. So, as Dungeon Master, I would like to direct everyone's attention to the DM images for storytelling, as that is what the miner explained to Kiri and Alyn, like what happened, and some of the tunnel layout. Anyway, is there anything in particular Kiri and Alyn would like to do before they head deeper?
I think Kiira wants to do a perception check to see if she notices anything or hears anything.
Sure. Roll perception for me. Yep, both of you can roll perception.
20?
Natural or unnatural?
No, I'm saying it's the 20 dice.
Yes, it's the 20
yeah.
dice, yes.
Well, that's just sad. I got a 1. That's
I got
not
a
getting
9.
whatever it is.
That's going good.
That is not good. Alright then. So what did Alyn get?
1, and then do I do passive wisdom?
Active
is it the other
perception
one?
skill.
Just the
Skill.
perception.
Skill perception is a 3, so that'd be a 4.
4. Alyn, you can hear a lot of water dripping. So there is like
Very helpful.
it's like there's moisture in the cave. You can hear the occasional falling of like a pebble from down one of from the right-sided tunnel. So perhaps indication of some activity. What did Kiri get?
A 9.
A 9. Right, you can hear much of the same. It's like you can hear like the occasional distant what sound like mutterings down from the right side of the tunnel, so it indicates that, yeah, there are people down here, so that's more than likely the miners down the right side. But yeah, at this precise moment, you can't hear a lot.
Okay. So Kiira would like to check through the stuff that is in this area. There was water and boxes and stuff. Is there anything valuable in them? He just wants to quickly check them through.
In which area? Do you mean like the big open area or the storage area? Because like you're in a tunnel at the.
In the big opening area.
Oh, so that's where you guys are now. All right then, that's fine. I'd love you roll investigation for me to snoop around.
Alien would like to do the same.
All right then.
13.
So he's 20.
Yeah, it's the 20 again with investigation skill.
Sweet. 17 plus investigation is a 3, so I got a 20.
A natural 20, nice. Right, let's go with Kiri first.
So a 13.
13. You sniff around through a couple of the boxes. Not really anything of valuable that you can catches your eye, really. A lot of it's just old pickaxes that are broken. Some like extra pitons in a small bag. Some more rope. A barrel full of clean water. Yeah, not a lot of interest to you. Alyn, unnatural 20. As you like sniff around, so to speak, something in the weak torchlight of the desert catches your eye. It's glinting at you. It's in the corner. It's not very big.
I go over and check what it is.
Sure. You go over to check what it is that's glinting, being cautious with your surroundings. And as you get closer, it is quite small. You're surprised that you actually saw it in the first place. The firelight must have been just at the right angle. And on the ground, standing out against the granite, somewhat cobblestoned ground, is a bright green scale.
I cautiously pick it up.
Sure, you pick it up.
Yeah.
It is. It's just a loose green, bright green scale. Not very big. So yeah, it's nice. It's shiny.
I show it to Kiira.
Okay.
Show him what I found.
Oh. That's a big scale. So we actually might be correct with this creature of it being a Grick.
Mm-hmm.
We better keep our eyes open if we find more. But yeah, it has lost a scale. That might mean that it's hurt, unless it it's like a snake that it regrows them somehow. I don't know enough about Grix.
Yeah, with the rolls from that you got last time, you don't have you have like basic knowledge of what a Grick is.
Yeah.
You don't
Well,
know the ins and outs of it.
shall we go deeper? I think I heard the miners down that tunnel.
The miners are behind you guys. So when you enter the mine, it's the second tunnel that's on the right-hand side.
Oh,
That's where the miners are.
so we passed them already.
Yeah, you
So
walk past them.
from the one on the left with the big circle in the middle.
So the one in the big circle in the middle on the left-hand side is like a storage sort of area with a fire pit.
And then they're on the other side.
Yeah, they're on the opposite side of that.
So you just
I'm
said that
really
the miners were behind us and they are causing some noise. Should we tell them to leave the cave before we go stealthing?
Who are you asking?
Who wants to go and talk with the miners? She
All right,
follows
you want
their
to go?
noise.
You want to go backwards and talk with the miners?
Yes.
All right then. Somewhat backtracking a little bit. The pair of you head down the tunnel on the right-hand side. Getting closer, you can hear what sounds to be moving rocks, a low-level chatter, and there's a bit more light, so the tunnel itself is a bit brighter. Once you get there, you see about 4 miners moving some of the rubble from a collapsed tunnel. So yeah, this is the first time you guys are actually seeing the devastation that what the Grick may have caused, or a natural cause. The wooden beams that support the roof and the sides of the tunnel are broken into splinters. The top beam has actually snapped in half. And like beyond this, the wooden beams is just nothing but rock that has fallen into different in different ways and has spread in somewhat of a downward slope from beyond where the wooden beams are. So the miners are clearing the rocks that are at the base of the slope.
Alyn just kind of looks around and thinking that, yikes, this is damaged.
Kiira checks around to see if there's any more scales or any hints of the Gricks.
Okay,
And
roll investigation.
$17.
17. There doesn't seem to be any like big signs that there was like a creature that came through this area. However, you do see a couple of extra scales trapped in between some rocks that the miners are moving. And from where you're standing, you can see just past the top beam, and there seems to be a hole in the ceiling, perhaps where it came from.
Are these scales somehow? The miners were moving the rocks, so could they be picked up?
Yeah, they can be picked up as the miners are like moving the rocks around. They haven't noticed the scales.
Kiira goes and grabs them, and hopefully also the miners notice that they appeared by now.
Oh yes, the miners have taken notice of you as soon as you entered the tunnel. And you came into sight. But it's like they still have a job to do, so they're...
Is anyone else behind the caving, or are you the only guides here in the cave currently?
One of them... Nope, we're the last ones.
Okay. We're actually here to investigate this caving problem, and for that reason, we actually need you to leave the cave for quite some time.
Some of the miners look at each other. You're here to sort out the cave-ins?
Indeed.
Roll persuasion to get them to leave.
$18.
Yeah, after some choice words and a very good point, the miners look at each other and somewhat give a bit of a nod. Alright, we'll take what we have in the car and head up to the surface. After we leave, you'll be down here on your own. You sure that's wise?
I do believe so.
The miners take the cart that they had in the tunnel and push it past you up towards the surface, giving someone nods. After about a couple of minutes or so, there is nothing more than the occasional drips in the cave. The pair of you are completely alone.
So, shall we go now down the other cave?
Sure. He said.
Before that, I would like to investigate the hole above. Is there anything? Can we climb in there, actually?
I mean, not really, but you can try and investigate it if you want.
Okay.
Alright, roll investigation.
And I'm following along with her, so.
I got a 19 plus 2, so 21.
Something like that should be with her.
Alright.
I have an 18, and what was it?
Investigation.
Investigation, so 18 plus 3. 21.
Alright then. Showing some rather impressive climbing skills. The pair of you reach to just where the beam the top beam has snapped, and where you can just see the hole peeking through. It seems like the majority of the hole in the ceiling is beyond where the rubble starts, so you can just see the edge of it. But yeah, you've reached it, standing on some steady rocks that you seem to have located. Yeah, you're looking at a hole.
Could we go into the hole?
No, you cannot go into the hole.
Sad.
Essentially, imagining a circle, a lot of the rubble is covering over half of this hole. You're looking through maybe an eighth of this hole.
Okay. Disappointed. We should have followed the Rick through the hole.
I'm sorry.
Is there anything inside? If we try to pick in, there's just rock.
You see a lot of rock and darkness.
We're half elves. We should be able to see maybe a bit more.
It's still
dark.
pretty dark in a hole.
Was there a torch down there? Could you, Alyn, could you hand it to me?
It's a hole.
Made by a crick.
I don't think we're going to find much more from this.
All right, then. Shall we continue then deeper into the cave?
Onwards, she said. And if we're doing nothing else and they're heading down that way, Alyn is going to be stealthy and not noisy.
Same. After the big area where there
Mhm.
was the beds and such, when they go into the cave on the right, Kiira will start being more stealthy too.
Alright, then the pair of you, please roll stealth.
Okay, so 12 plus stealth of 3, I have a 15.
I have a 12.
Say that again, sorry.
Better
You
sneaky.
call
15.
15
12.
and 12. 15 and a 12. Alright then. The pair of you lower yourselves just slightly towards more so the ground to prevent the skittering of loose pebbles and such as you begin to descend down into the tunnel and cave system below. It's fair to say that there are still torches in this some sort of weird looped staircase, something that the miners have made. Yeah. The only thing you can hear at the moment is the occasional crackle of the torches as they burn through their fuel and your own breath. It is silent. So yeah. Continuing to descend down into the tunnel, you eventually come to where the odd staircase flattens out, and it is here that you discover that, yes, there's more torches, but a large pond of sorts with a running waterfall hitting the surface of the water. All this is lit, and there is a tunnel about 20-25 feet away from you, leading around a corner and out of sight.
Is there anything that they would notice by investigating?
Kiira also looks around to see anything.
You can see tipped over barrels. You can see the firelight from the torches reflecting upon the water surface of this sort of pond, large water pond collector. Other than that, what you see is stone and more stone. It's just noticeably a lot more wet in this section.
Kiira goes investigate the cave if she can hear anything from that direction or if
What
there's
the
any new smells.
tunnel?
Yeah, the tunnel.
All right, and you're gonna go have a look, are you?
Yes.
Just okay.
But
still
very carefully.
Yeah, you're still stealthing. No worries. Yep. You're still stealthing.
Alyn, make sure to stay with her.
All right. The pair of you creep up to where this tunnel begins and fades away, and you see a single torch with the same sorts of wooden beams holding up the ceiling and the sides. But even with your dark vision, you can see that there is not a single light source beyond those beams. It's fair to say that this could be where the miners haven't explored yet.
Can Kiira see anything if she adjusts her eyes to the dark? Or is it just too dark?
Oh, it's not. With dark vision, it's like it's really complicated with dark vision. You can't see any defined shapes beyond the beams. You can see rock, you're pretty sure. But it's like unrefined sort of rock. It's not smooth or anything like that. So you're not sure if what's beyond those beams is part of the mine, or are you now entering a series of caves? Either way, it's an open hole of darkness. You're pretty sure. There's no indication of anything beyond it, so...
And Kiira continues forward.
You're gonna continue forward. Alright then.
Yes.
You get down to the wooden beams. You go to the wooden beams. And then you freeze. Something. You get the distinct feeling you're being watched. Just beyond those beams. Something's looking at you.
Kiira slowly goes kind of like down on her knee, under her other knee, and tries to be as small as possible. But also, if she needs to, she can run really fast. And she tries to see, tries to notice like where that stare feeling comes from.
All right. Roll perception for me.
My dice really likes me today.
Kiira got a 3. Oh no.
17, I'm right next to her, so I got a 17 plus a 3, which is a 20.
All right. Kiri, you are very much more focused on trying to keep your balance as you try to get lower to the ground. It's not going great. You keep wobbling a little bit. You haven't done this in a while, especially not in a cave or tunnel or whatever part of the section you're in. Just to be specific, Alyn, are you still standing? Are you stood up, or are you like some sort of crouch?
No, I crouched down when I felt the eyes or whatever. I'm following Gillie.
Right, so you're pretty much being a mirror.
In a way, yes.
All right then. Just being clear, because obviously depending on if you're stood or crouched depends on what you can see. With a 20, a natural one at that, and the useful help of dark vision, it's fair to say that you can definitely see cave, but there's something wrong with some of the texture of the stone further beyond. You can't quite see or feel where that stare is coming from. It seems to have moved on. But something about some of the stones doesn't look right. But it's still a bit too far to give you a defined sort of look.
She looks harder into the thing, trying to see anymore, but doesn't, I guess, see as much as can't tell where it's coming from, so. I don't know, she wouldn't do that. Okay. I was thinking the mouse, but she wouldn't send the mouse. Especially the thing that wants to eat everything.
Kiira takes there was a lot of small stones and such. Takes a few stones in her hand and just throws one further, like forward, but still like to the side.
Are you like skipping stones, or are you just like throwing it in a particular direction?
I'm throwing it in not straight at the, not completely straight, but a bit to the side.
All right then.
This kind of looks at her like, why?
Kiira wants to, yeah. It's an experiment.
All right then. I would like you to, it's a dexterity roll. So it's a d20 plus your dexterity modifier, as you are throwing something, but you're not aiming to hit anything.
Yeah. And let's see.
Just her, right?
Yeah, that's Alyn's copy.
No.
20.
Just making sure.
A 20.
Unnatural or natural?
Unnatural. I had a
Unna-
plus 2. Yeah, the modifier.
Unnatural.
Yeah.
All right then. Choosing one of the pebbles that you picked up, you test a couple of them to see which one would be the easiest to throw, got the good weight to it, and then you shift back on your feet just slightly and throw the stone with enough strength that it misses some of the rocks that could potentially stop it just short of where you're aiming to throw it. And you hear it land. And then all you hear is the sound of skittering steps, almost, you'd say. But it's not in front of you, it's above.
Are they coming towards us or going away from us?
No, they're just hanging around. It's like you know when you disturb something and it just moves.
Yeah.
You've created a noise, so it's moving.
Can we recognize that there's one thing making noise or multiple things?
Let's see. Alyn can. Alyn can hear about like multiple skitterings, so but you can't tell if this because there's many in there or it's due to its size. You're not quite sure. It's echoing and it's distorted. You've also got the waterfall behind you, so that's creating a little background noise.
Kiira tries to take a new look, also checking the ceilings and such.
And also looks at the ceiling, feeling slightly scared.
All right then. Can I have the pair of you roll investigation, please?
12 plus 3, so 15.
15.
16.
16. Give me a moment. Okay, what was the total from Kiri and Alyn?
Total
15.
like 16.
15 and the 16.
Yeah.
Okay, the pair of you see something move, and it's quite fast. It's not coming towards you, but it's definitely above you.
But there's only one.
From what you can see, from where you're stood, you can see one. It's not looking at you. It's like skittering across the ceiling of this somewhat cave.
Would we? Are we able to see it enough to see what it is? Or
Oh yeah.
It's it's a big dark colored mass that's quite quick on its feet as you see it like skitter around one of the is it stalagmite or stalagmite, the ones from the ceiling?
Stalactites are the ceiling because they're tight against the ceiling.
Stalactites. You see it like skitter around one of those, and it was quite fast, but it's just like the whole thing almost incompensated the top of it as it went round.
Kiira remembers about the Gricks that they they move around based on smell and vibration.
Mhm.
So it can either smell us, or then we could distract it and well, with with vibration.
Yes, essentially it can either smell if you're close enough, or it will detect the vibration first and come to investigate.
Does it
This,
have
this thing's doing neither. I'll point that out.
Yeah, I just threw a rock. So,
Does it have feet? Because you're saying it sounds like it has moving
It's
with feet.
it's skittering, so yes, fair to say this thing's got legs.
And the other thing was like a snake, so.
Mm-hmm. So put it this way, you wouldn't hear the grick, but this thing you can hear.
So, a Grick would have. Well, we did find green scales, and the bruises on the miners who were hurt were like similar what a Grick's mouth or the tentacles would be like. But Gricks don't have legs, and this one is walking with legs. Am I assuming correctly?
Wait, what? Were you asking?
That the information that we had and was putting that it was a Grick, but this thing isn't has legs, and Gricks didn't have legs, or did they?
No, Greeks don't have legs. It's more. Greeks are more worm-like
Yeah.
or snake-like. So yeah, no legs.
So
This thing's got legs.
So can Kiira then? Well, then Kiira probably thinks of it not being a Grick, but
Yeah,
something.
fair to say, due to just what you can see and what you've figured out so far, this thing's got legs. It's big, and see, it's on the ceiling. You're fair to say this is not a Grick.
Okay.
Alyn whispers to her, well, this isn't a Grix. Do you recognize it?
Do I? Or says Alyn, we should throw. No.
You can roll a nature if you want.
Yeah.
All right.
A 7.
A 7.
Yeah. How about Alyn? I hope she gets better.
I have a 14. Was I supposed to add anything to it?
Nature.
Nature?
Mm-hmm.
It is a 2, so a 16.
Okay. From what you guys have gathered just by observing this thing, you don't have enough information to identify what it is. But it's fair to say it's not a creature that probably hangs around up on the surface. But there's a lot of things this thing could be. And each one more deadly than the last.
This thing, Kiira felt like it was staring at her earlier. So it has eyes.
The feeling's now gone.
Yeah, but it feels like it has eyes or not. Well, it probably sees in the dark. Anyway, how? Okay.
You're answering your own questions.
I'm trying to be logical about it, but well, Kiira.
She's talking it through.
In her mind, and out loud.
I was gonna say, you're probably thinking this through, yeah.
Okay. Kiira will throw a rock again forward
Right.
to cause some noise for the creature to investigate while she backs off. Goes away. Goes towards the waterfall.
All right. What's Alyn gonna do while Kiira's throwing his rock? Or I should be asking: Is Kiira relaying this plan to Alyn?
She's holding a rock. and then showing with her thumb that we're going backwards. Going back.
Okay, Alyn, do you understand that?
Yeah, though she's kind of looking at her like she's nuts. But she backs away slowly and as quietly as she can.
All right then. So Aylyn's already beginning to move. So Alyn, I need you to roll a stealth again. Kiri, can you roll a dexterity for throwing your rock?
20.
Unnatural or natural?
17 plus 3.
So unnatural.
Unnatural.
A 12 for rock throwing.
Okay, Alyn, yeah, you begin to blend almost 12 for rock throwing. Right, Alyn, you begin to almost blend into the darkened shadows of this tunnel as you begin to step backwards, somewhat not even making a single sound. Kiri, you throw this rock. Admittedly, not as far as your first one, but you're not really aiming to get it to get it closer to you. You just want it to have its attention diverted, whatever this thing is. And as it like hits the ground and like skitters some other couple of rocks, you see that this thing has now reappeared, and it is coming to the like it's closer. Roll for stealth to back away.
16.
16.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, you begin to back away, not skittering any of the smaller rocks, not trying to draw attention to yourself. Yeah, the pair of you make it back away from the wooden beams into the tunnel and back into the one where the waterfall is with the torches. So yeah, you're now back in that chamber.
So, still being quiet, Kiira talks to Alyn. So, it appears that it is not a brick.
Or at least not just a crick. She said.
Yeah. There didn't seem to be other ones, but we're still not quite sure about that. Shall we head back to the others?
Sure. That way they can have a quick break and see if anyone else would recognize it from the description or anything else. And let them know it's not just a Grix.
Yeah. So we'll head now. We'll head back to them. They can you can probably continue with them. We're just walking out the cave now.
So yeah, the pair of you following the markers, you make your way back towards the surface. And as you come out to the surface top again, you see the rest of your group hanging around, pretty much. Not doing a lot, just waiting. Knell, you do hear them coming back, as you were informed by the miners who left that your two companions would be the only ones in the mine. So any noise that you would hear coming up towards the surface would be them. And with that, we are going to take a break.
The break has commenced. That means announcements for all. We want to remind you of the stickers we have. Just head on over to our Etsy. The link is in the description. Also, for those who are new and you've made it this far, give us a subscribe, a like, and if you want to be notified, press that bell as well. Another question for you all before we go. Now that we know who your favorite character is, what about them do you like the most? If you want your answer to be featured in our next break, then put a little smile in your response as well. We will see you next week with another question. Let's wind down this break and see what will happen next.
We bring ourselves back to session at a much earlier point in time, after the young miner, Kiira, and Alyn descended into the mine and beyond the sight of Gillie, Knell, and Salvya. The three of you are still at the top, having just watched your two friends and a young miner descend into the darkness. Knell, you had set yourself up towards the entrance, hoping that if there is a problem of any kind, that you will hear it. It doesn't take you long to notice that the young miner has come back out as he walks past you, and then eventually a group of 4 miners come out with a cart full of stone. But your two friends are still inside. It's nerve-wracking. You can't tell how far they've descended in, but at one point you can't hear them anymore. So, what is Gillie, Knell, and Salvya doing?
Gillie decided to kind of go off a little bit off to the side out of people's ways so he can meditate on all the information he had received last time we were playing this, because it was a lot and his wheels were turning and he wants to kind of meditate and see if he can calm himself and figure out what's really going on in this camp, because he had gotten a lot of information.
Sure.
Salvia will have walked next to Knell, wait with her to see if the others come out.
All right.
They come back out yet, or are we still just waiting?
You're still just waiting.
Alright, then I'm just gonna be tense.
But Knell has lost. She can't hear them anymore, so it means that they're beyond your range.
Which is why she's tense and listening very intently.
Would that be a religion for me or a history? Probably religion, huh? Meditating?
You're referring when you're meditating?
Yes. What would that mean?
Probably, I would probably link it more to religion, as strange as it is.
Okay, then he got a 15 on his meditating.
Alright then. Now I gotta remember from last time what I said. You meditate for quite some time upon the words that had been spoken, of all the information that you had gathered, everything that had happened to you recently. And it comes to the conclusion that there is something much bigger going on. Despite what Lord Redwin is claiming to be mining for, there isn't much evidence that these crystals are around. You believe firmly in what your god had said, but the sight of another god had somewhat given you a bit of a scare, especially one so negatively inclined, despite it being a natural thing. You're not sure what is keeping you here, other than the words that your god said. But you know, you're here right now for a reason. You're just not sure what that reason is at the moment.
Can I do something? Because for the fact that I saw another god so soon after I had a dream of my god, he's a little wary if that was actually his god.
Okay, what did you have in mind? Do you want to try and summon yours, or are you going to send them a question and like prayer? There's multiple things you can do.
I
so.
know, and I'm trying to figure out what he would
Just
want to
depends on
do. Because he's just... It's not like he's doubting, but he's also doubting. It's like, he wouldn't... He's like, he trusts his god. He loves his god. But for the fact that he saw another god so soon after, he's just like, I'm a little suspicious on what's going on now. And that's one of the reasons why he was wanting to meditate, to kind of recollect himself, to think of this in a more straight manner. And so... I'm not quite sure on what I should do. Probably maybe give a little prayer. If no one's watching him doing this, but if no one's like really paying attention, then he'll probably pull out his necklace just to try to give him some strength, because he's just like, oh, I need this right now. It needs to comfort me, and hold on to his necklace, and probably give a little prayer after he finishes meditating, and just say, I know you had come to me in my dream, but things have happened since then, and I am just worried about this whole situation. Something does not feel right, and especially since seeing your cousin? He's not quite sure how they're related, so he's just like, cousin. That feels right to say. It's just, if there is something showing that it was actually you that came to me and not someone trying to pretend to be you, I don't know, send a butterfly, I guess? I don't know. It's too cold for butterflies, I think. I don't know.
A little bit.
A little bit. But he's just trying to think of something small that he could pinpoint to his god. He's not quite sure. He's just like, I normally only see you when I'm sleeping, and I'm not sleeping. I don't know what, but I'm confused.
Okay. So just to make sure I have this right, pretty much you're asking for Serenity to send you a sign.
Yeah,
Correct?
that what he dreamed was actually him and not someone else trying to pretend to be him, to be his god. And he just wants to make sure he's walking the path of serenity and not someone else's. Because some of the phrasing now, as he's thinking about it, was a little on the iffy side. And so he's just like, I trust you, but so soon after I saw another god, and now I'm a little wary that My dreams were infiltrated by someone not you.
All right, I think I got the gist of what the prayer you're trying to get across. But we'll say, like, while Gillie is doing this, Knell, you take notice of Gillie sat some bit away. Sat down. You don't think that's out of the ordinary at first, but as you watch, like briefly, because obviously you can look around everywhere else. Your ears are just trained on the cave. You see that even though Gillie's eyes are closed, just underneath them is beginning to glow just slightly into a golden yellow color.
Is that a passive perception thing that I caught?
Yeah, that's a passive perception.
Nice. Oh goodness. Well, Knell is very much not the type of person who would stick her nose into somebody else's business, but her eyes will widen a little bit as she looks, and then she will pointedly look away.
Okay.
Is Gillie trying to be secretive about this? Like, is he notably trying to be secretive?
No, he's not. I wouldn't say Gillie's making a big deal out of this. It's like he sat down, so it's not out of the ordinary, because it looks like he's just resting, but he's not actively hiding it. So if somebody was looking in Gillie's direction, they would see. But if you're not going to really notice.
So, make a mental note of it, and possibly ask him about it later. But for now, I'm focusing on the cave.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't want to talk too much when I'm trying to listen.
It's just something Knell noticed by sight.
Nice.
So, Salvya's still with you. Still just watching.
Do you have anything to say or do, Salvya?
I mean, if she didn't notice that, she would be just waiting with Knell. I don't know.
Alrighty. Back with Gillie then.
I wonder if maybe Gillie is praying for the safety of our friends or companions, I suppose. They're not really friends yet, but it might up my opinion of him a little bit, even if it's through a misconception.
Okay. Back with Gillie. You don't feel anything happen to you after you've sent your prayer. Nothing seems to have been happened.
Then, if I don't feel anything right off, and I kind of sit there for a moment and rest after making sure my necklace was back tucked away, hidden, because it's only for me, no one else can see it, my necklace. But he'll get up and he'll walk back over to the group just to kind of stand by as he just kind of contemplates still to himself. But he's being oddly quiet. Just for him, he's being awfully quiet.
Yeah. As you get up and walk away, somewhat, you feel a small weight, like land on one of Gillie's horns, the only horn left. And it's like glancing just enough, you see golden, like yellow feathers as a sweet bird song comes from beside you, twitters. A bird has landed on your horn.
Wait, I got distracted. Say that again.
I wondered. Gillie feels a weight land on the tip of their remaining horn. And the sound of like little chirps and twitters comes from beside them. Perched on the edge of your horn is a little golden coloured bird singing its little heart.
I'll glare over at Nels like, touch this bird and I will end you type of look. But he doesn't move, just to let the bird do its thing. He will hold still and be like, this is the sign I was waiting for. I'm watching you, Nell. This is not your snack.
Nell, do you see this bird?
Well, if he came back over to where we are, and he has a bird on his horn, and he looks at me like that, then yes, I noticed the bird. And my ears do veer away from the cave for a moment, and I do stare intently at the bird, but, yeah, I have wolf jerky. I'm not going to be attacking a little canary bird.
I forgot you had that.
Huh?
I forgot you had wolf jerky in your pocket, essentially.
Well, I suppose it's not necessarily jerky. It was just cooked all night. Or I suppose that's kind of definition of jerky. Yeah,
so it's
jerky.
just like it's cooked, it's dried, somewhat. So yeah, it's fair to say call it jerky. It's just
I hope wolf jerky.
So.
Yeah. Also, Knell prizes life above most things, so she's not going to kill without need. But still, bird.
Like you want to play with the bird.
It will distract me for a moment, but then I'll focus back in on the cave.
Salvya, it's fair to say that you do notice this bird as well. Singing its little heart.
Yes, I do. And I'll be quite surprised. Gillie is standing so still to start with to be able to have a bird on him. So she will be surprised, but looking at the bird curious. Like, I don't know, she doesn't link it with anything, but it's just wondering how a bird is daring to come so close to someone, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it's noticing also Nell's reaction and is going to smile amused.
Right. It's probably not long after that, say another 10 or so minutes, that eventually Knell, you hear, and then all three of you see Hickory and Alyn come back to the surface, looking a bit frightened, and Alyn looking a bit angry.
Knell is able to hear them. And
yeah, you hear them first, and then you see them.
Yeah, she'll perk up and sort of trot over to them. Not run, but she'll be moving quickly. And in a sort of low voice, not her normal louder voice, she's gonna be like, You are back! What did you see? What you sent the miners back out, and I didn't know if that was a good thing or not, but I thought it was a good thing, and then and you don't look very happy. Did something go wrong? I didn't hear anything. I was listening though. I was listening very intently. There was a bird. It was very distracting. But what happened?
Kiira kind of like lifts her hands and like, please calm down with her hands. And she's just overwhelmed that. So from the many questions, we we got some information about the creature. It's not actually a Grick. Should we...
I mean, the clicks are very... Did you, find out what it was? Did you
Not
see it?
quite. It was something big, certainly. And this creature was walking on the in the cave's ceiling. We did find some scales. Kiira takes one out and shows it to Knell.
Do I recognize the scale?
It's the green scale. You had a 20 on Grix, didn't you?
I got a 17.
17. So yeah, it's fair to say you would definitely say this probably was a Grix scale.
Oh.
Probably its hide, not so much its belly.
Oh, she'll turn it over in her hands and examine it closely to make sure she's seeing what she thinks she is. It says, but you said it was not a Grick.
Alyn says it at least wasn't just a Grix. There was something else in there too.
Oh. Well, I am glad that you got out safe then. We did not know about this other thing. Come, let us talk to the others and we will make a plan on how to deal with this thing. And we will try to figure out among our group what this thing is. And I will walk back towards Salvya and Gillie.
Kiira follows.
Illy will finally relax as the bird had flown away off of his horn and leans forward to the group. What color was the bird?
It was yellow, I think.
He does this little happy dance. Okay.
Knell is a little bit confused, but okay. But we on more important matters, Alyn and Kiira, they brought out a scale, and it looks like it is a Grick, but they also saw something else. Do you want to tell Gillie and Salvya what you told me?
I'm also offended you thought that yellow bird wasn't important. Very important to me. Just need to say that.
Bird. It was very cute, yes, and very strange that it came and landed on your horn, but it is a bird.
But it was a gold bird. It makes all the difference. But continue.
Just fixation on this bird.
So, what me and Alyn noticed that when the caves, deep in the caves, there was this area where there was some kind of creature, and it did not seem like a Grick. It seemed rather big, and it was making this skittering noise as it climbed across the ceiling. It seemed also quite agile. And yes, we did indeed find these scales. Are you sure they're from a Grick?
As far as I can tell, it looks like it's from a Grick, from what I know about them.
How about this creature? Does it ring any bells? What I just described? You seem quite knowledgeable about Gricks.
Does this creature ring any bells? Should I roll a nature check?
If you want to.
Sorry,
This is becoming my catchphrase, I swear. How many times do I say if you want to in a session?
Well, you are the DM. You're going to be repeating things quite a bit, I would assume.
Yes, somewhat.
I roll with advantage on nature checks. 16.
16, yeah. From what Kiira has described, you know, that is not a Grick. Gricks are not particularly agile, unless they're burrowing. But even
And
then, they're
also
more
climbing on the
inclined...
ceiling.
Essentially, they can't climb ceilings. They can drop down from a ceiling, but they can't climb it. So, it's fair to say that whatever they saw was definitely not a Grick, but something else. But to your knowledge, there could be many things that could it could have been.
I think I couldn't say. There are very many things that are like that. There are many things that are on the ceiling. What are some of the things that it could be?
Could be a bat. Could be a spider.
It could be a spider.
Could be a centipede. Could be a millipede.
I'll go ahead and list off some of these things that it could be.
Yeah, pretty much. You go from what seems to be harmless to downright terrifying. If you bet it, anyway.
So there are lots of things it could be. Fuck, I didn't even think about insects. But I'm pretty sure I know what it is still. Because I remember you detailing some of the bruises some of the guards had, or miners, the other day.
Okay. I'm gonna be really curious, but when you eventually tell me what you think this thing is, because I'm gonna laugh if it's wrong.
You're wrong. Now that you're detailing these other things.
Kiira is thinking hard because she knows that the thing she saw was not a Grick, but yet they did find in 2 areas of the cave Grick scales. The one where the cave was recently collapsed, and then also it was in the common big area where Alyn found it. So she's wondering, because she knows she saw this one creature, that's certainly a problem, but she's not sure if they also have to take care of this other thing, or how these Greek scales ended up in the cave. She does actually mention to the others that, where they found the Greek scales in the cave area, as in to get some other ideas or what the others think about it.
I'm wondering that if maybe we should ask somebody about this other thing that you saw, because there really are very many things that could be, and I find it unlikely that there would be 2 monsters in there that nobody saw ever.
Yeah. White Wind did tell me that he saw something with this green scale tail.
Okay.
But I'm not
so
sure.
There was somebody who saw the Greek then. But
yeah.
This other thing.
Yes, something isn't adding quite up.
I mean, you went in there and you saw it quite quickly.
It was...
You only went in there once. These miners, they go in there all the time, yes?
I don't think the miners go that deep.
Oh.
We were.
Was it very deep?
Yes, we actually went down below into a tunnel, and there was this area, and from there was a tunnel that led to this cave system. There was some lights, but further on it was just darkness, and it didn't seem that the miners would go near that area.
Recall that being part of the map, but the cave that led off of that section, it looked like it had been one of the collapsed caves.
No. Kiira draws on the is the ground kind of like sandy, probably.
You're on a very rocky sort of area, so you can't really draw on the ground, but I suppose there's like Knell has
Yes.
claws. You could draw on the stone.
Or I could
That.
move
I
some
apparently have a
rocks
very good memory for maps. Like in my notes here, it says, as part of my background as an outlander, I have an excellent memory for maps and geography, and I can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around me.
There you go. You should remember the map that you were shown of the known areas, even if it's not clear detail. You can give the general shape anyway.
Yeah.
Kiira could still kind of like, with her shoe kind of like show that, okay, here, like the general area, like even though it's rocky, there's some stones and stuff, and she can move them a bit around. But she's like, okay, if this is the where we walk in, here's a few tunnels, and here's the loop area, and here was a waterfall, and here the map was cut off and was the cave system. She doesn't need to describe it that carefully because the others had seen the map before. But she kind of like shows, okay, in this area.
Oh yes, I remember. It was so they just haven't explored down there.
Or they don't dare to go deeper. Though I would like to ask some questions from the miners again.
Yes, it would be good to ask, even if we think they might not know anything, because you don't know until you ask, right?
Yep.
Would you like to ask somebody, and I could go ask somebody else?
Sure.
And maybe Salvya, Alyn, Gillie. Maybe Gillie should not, but the rest of us, we could go and ask questions and see what turns up, maybe.
Sure, and we can come back here then afterwards to continue our planning.
And you said that there were miners hanging around outside the mine?
Giving a look around the general area, there are very few people around, and I mean very few. You can see like one guard and one miner that's like leaving. So, and the guard is getting ready to leave as well. Literally, it's just you guys and those two others.
Kiira runs after them.
So everyone else went back to the camp then?
Yeah.
Okay, I will take a look around, notice this, and be like, oh, well, maybe we could just go ask them then.
I was gonna say, did Kiira say she's running out?
Yeah. Hey, wait!
Oh, Kiira took up running after them?
Yes.
Some of the miner and guards stop and turn around.
Okay, I'm gonna jog after her so I can hear what's being said too.
Gillie isn't gonna say anything. He's just gonna follow after Knell to be able to listen in as well. But he's not saying anything, mind you. He's just quietly contemplating everything.
I don't know if Knell has quite noticed yet, but she will eventually.
It depends on how well you think Knell knows Gillie. to notice such a change?
Well, there's the fact that she's still a little bit angry at him, even though she accepted his apology. So she's not paying as much attention to him as she did before.
Can I also roll like a perception just to kind of take a look around just to see? Because he's a little wary about his surroundings and he wants to keep an eye out for loss.
Sure. You can roll a perception.
Okay. He got a 13.
You don't see anything out of the ordinary.
Oh, wait,
from
no,
what
14.
You
Sorry.
14. That's fine. Again, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. You see these two. You see a miner and a guard. You see your companions. See the entrance of the mine. Nothing much sticks out to you, thinking that it's you don't see any sort of shadows that are moving. Nothing like that. So yeah, Gillie doesn't see anything of particular interest that could indicate maybe a god's coming about.
So they decide to ask the others, the miners and such,
Mm-hmm.
about this new creature, but most of them went back to the camp. So
Yeah,
they
most
are
of them
going
went back
there,
to
right?
Most of them went back to the camp. They've managed to stop a single guard and one miner that was just about to leave.
So
Alyn follows the majority of the group.
So yeah, so fair to say, I think the entire group is this one miner and guard.
Just surrounding them. Don't you dare leave!
Mm. Anyway, the pair have stopped and are just looking at you a bit confused. And it's like, yeah.
Kiira asked the guard, "Have you been in the cave?"
Well, yeah, I mean, every guard has a particular shift on inside the cave. Well, the mine, anyway.
Okay. There's this back tunnel in the cave. After the very steep area with the waterfall. Is that a place where how often do people go there?
Somewhat the minor person. Oh, no one's really explored there yet. It's a newly opened tunnel. We're waiting for supplies from one of the towns.
What kind of supplies?
Extra torches. They're more sturdy. The ground's not exactly stable.
Sorry, Kiira. May I interject? Kiira, my friend here, and our other friend, Alyn, they went down there and they looked around and they saw something in there. So it would probably be a very good idea for nobody to go in there. But has anyone gone in there and seen something? Or has anyone gone in there and disappeared, maybe?
Not that we know of, someone says the guard. And nobody's reported anybody missing.
Good at least, but so nobody has said anything about anything they saw in there? Possibly?
Nobody's been to that new tunnel since it's been opened.
When was
I
it
see.
opened?
That is a good question. And when did the attacks and cave-ins start happening? Did it happen around the same time?
The new tunnel's been opened for about 2.5 weeks now. The collapsing of the tunnels has been around longer than that.
Can I roll to
How-
see if anyone's lying or not telling the full
Sure.
truth?
Sure, you can roll an insight if you want to.
17.
17. They're both lying.
At this moment,
Really?
Illy makes himself more notice. You're not telling us the truth, are you? And he's just like looking at them intently, and this like the most serious look on his face. I guess that would be
Some of the
intimidation.
miner looks more unnerved by the look. The guards just like gives you one back.
I will
Can
stand
Kiira
my
Knell
ground.
will
try-
blink a little bit.
Can Kiira try persuasion on them?
Sure, how are you going to persuade them?
She's trying to use their conscience against them, stating that people have died, and if they don't tell the truth, there will be more victims,
Can
and
Illy,
maybe they are the next ones.
can
to
Illy
get hurt.
assist in the sayings of, I'm a monk. I have seen the god of lost wandering your camp.
Oh, so you want to give it almost like an omen there.
Yes.
Alright, I would definitely say, yep, Kiri can roll persuasion with advantage. Thanks to Gillie. Bringing the gods into things is always... Especially that one.
It was a heck of a move. Good job, Spazzy.
Okay, so it was an 15 plus 1, so 16.
That's with advantage?
How do I add the advantage?
Advantage is
Second
that you roll the
time.
d20 twice.
And
Oh.
then you take the higher roll.
Yeah, and then you take the higher roll.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that. I also have advantage on persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That would be perception, proficiency, not advantage, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
So
it
yeah,
was 16,
so-
the higher one.
Alright, it's 16, so 17 then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that unnerves the pair of them. You seen the god of death around here? One of the miner exclaims. It's just like he's terrified. The prospect of the god of death just walking around their campsite, not exactly a good thing. Even the guard looks unnerved. But nobody's died other than the ones in the tents, as far as we're aware. But yes, people have gone missing. Some miners and a couple of guards. Ever since that new tunnel's been opened. But we don't understand how. Essentially, they're taken from a place that's often got people in it. Somebody would have noticed, but nobody's noticed a thing.
In the common water and bed area. The common big cave.
No, he's talking about the one with the waterfall in it.
Oh, okay.
Can Illy roll like a history to see if this would be something, I don't know, he would know about, of gods just taking people? Because that seems something up his alley.
It would be more religion, but yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
Well, it just seemed something that he would know, so...
Yeah, it's fun.
Gods? Holy shit.
17, and you said religion? 19.
Mm-hmm. 19. You know for a fact gods don't take people. I mean, sure, the god of death essentially takes souls, but that's after a person's dead. They don't physically take anybody.
So, I will say, it was not the gods that have taken your friends, but there is something else must be at work.
Kiira, you said what you saw, it was on the ceiling? Are the ceilings high enough that you might not have noticed?
Not in the waterfall area. It was quite lit up. But
would you not be able to notice something that was on the ceiling? Many people do not even think to look up. My papa, he always told me that when you are scouting an area, make sure to look up because nobody ever looks up. So perhaps the miners in guard simply did not look up.
Was the ceiling high enough for the creature to fit in up there?
Yeah. Seems
Yep.
pretty high up.
Okay.
Essentially, the room itself was 30 feet by 60. So yeah, that ceiling was pretty high.
Yes.
The
creature could-
ceiling that high. Holy shit!
It might have been the water that had made the cave.
Oh,
Essentially, the water would have done a lot of it, but the miners probably helped. But yeah, fair to say that creature possibly could have fit.
Would the creature fit in the like the cave or when we went into the hallway, the tunnel between?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it was also big, yeah. Nice.
Wait.
Just making sure.
Wait, I thought you were talking about is the creature big?
No.
Are you asking about the connecting tunnel? Like how big that is?
Yes.
Okay, that tunnel is probably quite a bit smaller. About 20 feet wide, but the ceiling was still quite high, but about 30.
If the creature is big enough it couldn't fit through that, we are really in trouble.
Okay, put it this way. That thing is agile enough to fit through probably that space as well. So yeah, it can get into that tunnel, through that tunnel into that open space pretty easily.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair to say, yes, that creature can get into that open area with the waterfall. It can get in there.
Then Knell had some questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. She is asking why they wouldn't want to tell us about that. Like, why were they trying to keep that a secret? She's most of her is just flabbergasted they were lying at all, because she's a gullible little shit and she just believes pretty much anything that anyone tells her. But they were called out and now they're saying something different and she's wondering why they were lying.
So is she asking why they lied, or is she
Yes.
just thinking this in her mind?
She is saying, why wouldn't you tell us about that? Why weren't you saying? We asked.
Why would you tell somebody that? Yeah, people have gone missing. Yeah, please go take care of it for us. That's not exactly a ringing endorsement.
But by leaving,
we were sort of hired to do this. We were supposed to go in and take care of the problem for you people.
Just because you're hired to do something, you could still just leave.
We could, yes, but then people would keep dying.
And you'd stay here, stuck with that problem, and you would be putting your lives in risk.
So the miner just looks at me and say, "Well, yeah, but we don't have a choice. You do. You guys could have left at any point. You didn't have to take the job. You didn't have to do any of this. You could have just said, this is too hard, and could have just left us.
He does have a point.
It would have been no concern of yours."
At least, like, he totally has a point, because I'm 10 seconds of dipping.
Normally like this? Do they normally just walk away when people are dying? That does not sound right.
Adventurers can do what they like, says the guard. They don't have any obligations.
Well, when I came to this camp, I had a very bad injury on my leg. And Jeanette, your healer, she did not have to see me. She did not have to bandage me or give me a healing potion, but she did. And now I want to help you. Whether Mr. Redwin is going to be paying us or not, I want to help you. I want to help everyone who is here. So please, if you have any information that might assist me and my friends in doing so, I would like to know, please.
So the two look at each other. And all we know is that since the opening of that cave entrance into that cave-like system, a number of people have been going missing. We don't see it happen. 1 minute they're there, the next they're gone. No scream, no nothing. All that's left is some sticky sort of liquid. It just numbs your hands if you touch it.
The numbing liquid that does narrow things down a little bit for us. No, there are many things it could be, but not everything fits numbing liquid like that. So thank you for telling us that.
Knell
And
can roll another nature check if she wants to with this new information.
I would like to.
Kiira also would like to
Holy
ask.
shit, I got a natural 20.
Ow! That was my ears.
Sorry, that was exciting. It's my first natural 20, okay?
That's the first natural 20 of this campaign, I think.
I think during the first session
No,
there was a
I'm
lot of
pretty
20s.
sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Gillie rolled a natural 20 when we were at the bar.
All right.
As the very first roll of the campaign.
Yeah. Okay.
But I know what it is now. I have to. I got a natural fucking 20.
Natural 20 plus what?
I have a +0 on nature checks.
So it's just a straight natural 20.
Yeah.
All right then. Alrighty, right. Nell's thinking back onto everything that she has heard now about this creature. It's apparently skitters around. It climbs. It's pretty agile. And now it essentially takes victims and leaves behind a numbing sort of substance. Right, I would like only Hickory to look at the image that I'm putting up in storytelling.
To me.
I've marked it as spoiler, so it's fine.
Okay.
Everyone can look at it after this session, but...
The trust. Okay, let's see. Oh, fuck.
So yeah, everything that Knell has heard adds up to that creature.
Would you like to message me the name of it? What an original name.
It is a very original name. Feel free to play with that if you wish.
Okay, so I know what it is, and
Yeah. It's
don't
just like
want
the look of horror on Nell's face.
I don't think she's particularly scared of this type of thing, but
well, no, it's just like it's not a creature you want to meet. Because with a natural 20, it's like in your mind you now remember everything to do with this thing. With all the clues, but it also, one point sticks out to you. It's never alone.
Oh shit.
Where there's one,
Okay.
there's normally more. Usually they're a bit younger, but it's never alone. So it always equals to be a problem. It's dangerous, but manageable, but it's never on its own. Yes, yes.
This fight is gonna fucking kill me. Okay, so she doesn't want to let on how unsettled she now is to the guard and the miner because she doesn't want to raise alarm.
Kiira
But
has a
anyway.
few questions. Yeah. Has there been
I did
any...
thank them already, so I'm done talking to them. If you want to talk to them, go for it.
Yeah. Has there been any rumors between the miners and the guards about this possible creature or creatures? Because she did notice that some of the scales were between rocks. Some of the miners might have noticed them also, so they might have some kind of talks about that.
Some of the pair look like they think for a moment, but in the end they shake their heads. Nothing that you don't already know, I don't think.
There hasn't been any speculation or anything like someone would have yelled that, okay, it's this kind of thing, or made any stories about... Has there been any stories about them?
Well, yeah, people are making up stories. I mean, essentially, whatever's taking these people, it's being essentially called the killer of the crystal mine. So essentially got named that, but
yeah.
It's used as a good ghost story, I suppose.
You did mention that from the pool area, from the waterfall area, there was people missing. But are you certain that people haven't gone missing on other parts of the mine?
We're pretty sure, says the guard. We do a head count after everyone leaves, and if anyone's missing, it's always been in that one area. Doesn't go too far.
Because there certainly has been a creature by the latest collapse.
What makes you say that? We haven't noticed any sort of creature.
One of your gods, Woodwing, had seen the tail of this creature. They told us that it was scaly and green, and it didn't. You have no information about this?
No. If Whitewing had said anything, then the only one who would possibly know would be Lord Redwin and his two guards.
So Mr. Redwin should have known about these too? And instead he sent us to talk to somebody else? He hired us to do this.
He may be informed about a lot of stuff, but it's up to him that if he believes what everyone is saying or not. Perhaps he just hired you to put our minds at rest or something, but obviously that's not working out too well.
I have one more question. Has there been any crystals actually here? Have you seen any?
One.
You have seen one crystal. Which one answered?
Minor.
It was not for nothing then. But still, it seems like a very not worth it price to be paid.
Well, essentially, we saw the one crystal, but it was on. It was up here, on the surface.
On the surface? You mean outside the cave?
Yeah. It was actually embedded into the stone where we've made the entrance.
How big was this crystal?
So when he lowers his hand down to where his knee is, this miner is roughly about 5'4". So yeah, a fairly big crystal.
Ailey grabs a hold of Knell's shirt and just holds it like with a death grip, trying not to run towards the cave.
So reach down and hold on to Gillie's wrist.
There was this one crystal by where was the entrance. People dug it out and started digging more deeper in. There hasn't been any other crystals found. There was only this one.
No. That crystal was sent to the sent to wherever Lord Redwin presides over. We just know that someday this camp was set up. We were told to mine deeper to find more. We just know it's a crystal. We don't know anything else about it. Other than that, it's just a local myth up here.
Kiira starts to doubt that there's any more crystals.
You could hear this like almost whine sound coming from Illy's throat, but he's trying to be quiet at the same time. And he just has a death grip on Knell's shirt.
Don't worry, I'm holding on to him too. I'm helping. Okay, well, I think that perhaps we have gotten all the questions answered from you that we can. So we will go back and try to figure out what we are going to be doing about your problem in the mine, and you can go back to what you are doing.
So the pair nod and head back down towards the camp.
As soon as they're gone and out of earshot, I know what it is.
You do?
I know, I remembered. Oh, you guys, this is not going to be good. It is a giant spider.
A spider?
I need
I am
these crystals.
certain. Well, you are not going to be getting them until these things are dead.
I doubt there's any crystals any more than that one.
Well, we could look. They haven't been in that cave yet, yes?
I need these crystals. And his hand just gets tighter on the clothes.
You already knew about the crystals, didn't you, Gillie? That's the whole reason we're here.
But they're big crystals.
There has been one crystal, and based on that, they started digging deeper and caused this problem.
I will take on an
I would
army.
take many away from them, though, considering what they've given up for them.
Do these spiders have scales? Oh, can I have my skill back? Kiira's holding her hand out.
Oh, okay. But perhaps after I could have one, maybe? And she'll reach into her pocket and hand it back reluctantly.
Oh. But no, these things don't have scales. Giant spiders don't have scales.
Can these spiders dig, make caves?
No,
Cave in?
no, they're spiders. No.
We definitely know there's a Grick in there. The Grick is definitely doing all of that stuff, but there is also giant spiders.
Essentially, what Knell knows is that there must be another entrance into this mountain that the spiders are using.
And it's probably on the other side of the cave that they're in.
Either that or somewhere else. The thing is, it's just like, yeah, there's another entrance essentially into that part where these giant spiders are, but the miners have opened up another area where a lot of food essentially is milling about.
And given that I know everything about these things now, do I know if they eat their food right away or if they store it for later?
They tend to store it and drain it, essentially. It's like a typical what a spider does to a fly.
Yeah. Do I know how long they could possibly store things? What I'm basically asking is there a possibility that there are still live miners in the cave?
There is a possibility, but it depends on when they were taken.
Yeah, it was sometime in the last few weeks, considering that's when the mine was opened up.
Yeah,
so
because you didn't actually ask
Yeah,
when
I
the
didn't
last
ask
person was taken.
Salvia will look quite alarmed. She's not used to spiders at least at size. She will try to talk with the others, like trying to know anyone knows the weakness about these spiders, or because now that they know there's all the plans or ideas they had before don't have any use anymore, and even if they know what they are, they shouldn't just jump in there since they know there could be more than one.
Essentially, a giant spider is just a bigger spider. There's no particular weakness. They're saying, yeah, you do this, it dies instantly. It's a spider. It's just very big.
Well,
You
you
stab
know
a spider.
what's good? Yeah, you know what's good at killing spiders?
Fire.
Salvia? Yes. Fucking set it on fire. I mean, they don't have that meme for nothing. Like, saw a spider, burned the house down. Yeah. Fucking fire.
Doesn't the... And if they have any webbing, it should light on fire too. Burning the whole nest.
Yes, but as I was saying before, I'm probably going to tell everyone that there is a possibility that there are living people in the spider nest because spiders store their food.
But also the poison melts their insides.
Yeah, what I was gonna say,
Essentially, you guys did not ask when the last person was taken, so you got anything between 2.5 weeks. You didn't ask how many people were taken either.
We don't know.
So
we don't know,
yes,
but there's
a
still
possibility,
a possibility.
But you ain't got specifics, so
Nell's still gonna check. And even if they aren't alive, still, people salute. So that's probably gonna be good information for both Gillie and...
No, if you're gonna have Salvia burn the whole thing.
We're not gonna burn everything. Unless she suddenly grows a couple levels and casts fucking fireball.
Well, by memory, I think there's not too much chance of survivors there, because in the moment they inject the numbing, they also that venom also inside kill them. So It's just like the step before they cover them with the nets.
Do I know if the numbing venom is the same as the liquefying their insides venom?
I'll talk to her after us, but
Yes. It's the same. If it's just touched, like skin contact, it numbs. If it's injected, it's a lot more potent. Essentially, by touch, you're only getting a small amount. It will either burn or numb your fingers. It depends on how your skin will react.
And the spiders probably injected when they took people, huh?
More than likely.
yeah.
Okay, then I will not tell people that there might be people living down there because I would know that. Given that I apparently know everything about fucking giant spider.
And Greg, you know a lot about creatures.
Yeah, creatures seems to be Knell is the go-to.
Which is hilarious considering I don't have a proficiency in nature and I only have a 0 modifier on it. I have advantage on nature checks because of my background.
Your dad told you quite horrifying bedtime stories.
Yeah.
Well, he was the only person I had, and he's not exactly soft and fuzzy, despite the fact that he's a cat. Okay, so I am lost. Where are we right now? We're just talking about
You're
our
talking
group is
outside.
talking about the spiders.
Yeah, you're talking about spiders.
Oh, I'm just a lazy cat. Yay.
Mm.
So, spiders, they also, well, vibrations on their strings, they react to those. And kind of like, minings, yes. They would react to the vibrations, but also so does the Grick. How to lure spiders instead of luring a Grick would be a question.
Well, I am wondering if we would be able to get these things out of the cave at all. Because first, spiders move very quickly. So if we lured it and then didn't outrun it to get out of the mine, then well, we would be fighting in a place that we do not want to be fighting in, yes? So I think we're going to have to modify the plan that you were talking about before. I think the bigger question will be, how do we fight them separately? Because I think it would be much more difficult if we fight Greeks and giant spiders at the same time.
Have you, did Knell mention that there is a possibility for another way into the spider cave?
Yeah, knew that, and I
Did
would
she?
have conveyed that information.
Well, there you go.
I'd like to say I conveyed everything that I possibly could, anything that I could possibly have known.
Should we go and try to seek this other entrance to the cave?
That might take a while. I do not know this area very well, so it would be pure exploration for me. Does anybody else know this area well enough to be able to look for another opening to the cave?
We could ask a miner if they know anything, as he's intently looking at the direction of the cave.
Good. And
poor, I feel really sorry for Gillie right now.
Nell will tighten her hold on his wrist just a little bit. Not enough to hurt. Definitely not enough to hurt, but tight enough that he's not going to be getting loose.
No, don't worry. His knuckles are like white with how tight his grip is on your shirt.
The willpower in this boy.
Could Alyn have any expertise or use her animal bodies to, if they know about this area, send her mouse seeking?
I think a mouse would take a while. They're very small.
But if a mouse finds another mouse, it could discuss with it and find information.
Yes, but we talked about it the last time, that this is basically a regular mouse.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to be able to send it on missions or anything like that. Like, please go talk to another mouse and ask them something. Yeah, that's not going to work. But Alyn does know the speak with animals spell, yes?
Yeah. I was thinking if she
Yeah,
could
you could probably
that.
ask one of the animals in the area. Probably could have asked that bird that was sitting on Gillie's horn, but that's gone now.
Yeah.
But perhaps you could ask an animal
that would know this mountain quite well.
You could see if you can talk to a different bird. A bird would be able to tell you if they had seen something like another cave. Birds aren't super smart, but they can recognize a hole in a mountain, right?
Any animal we find, just...
Yeah, but not everything would have been
Yeah.
able to find a cave. Like, you're not going to be able to go and ask some nearby squirrel, like, hey, have you seen any good caves recently? Like, yeah, this one. But birds fly all over the place. They move all over the place. So they would definitely
or maybe a fox or a rabbit would know the area.
Maybe. But I'm gonna put my cards on a bird, especially considering birds are really easy to find. You just gotta look
or
at
a bat during nighttime.
That's true too. We could ask a bat if we could find one. You would have to roll perception or something to see if you had seen any bats in the cave, I think.
Yeah.
I am listening.
Oh, May, I think we're sort of talking as our characters, but not. Or it might be out of character. I'm not actually sure.
You're planning, so a lot of this is probably out of character. So
yeah,
essentially, if you're doing any, so essentially
Okay.
in character so far, you've discussed that. Oh yes, this is actually a giant spider. This is what I know about giant spiders. Here you go.
And I think somebody did mention the plan of trying to find the other entrance to the cave.
Yes, Kiira
Yeah.
would have mentioned that.
Yeah, so...
But that's as far as you've mentioned in character. The rest of it's been out of character.
Would Alyn like to suggest that she could talk to an animal?
Illy got a natural 20.
Or would Alyn just like to run off and just talk to an animal without
They said they were trying to find the other side of the cave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were discussing the possibility of finding the other side of the cave.
She says, I can try and ask one of the animals if they know any cave or any other entrances to the cave.
That would be very helpful.
You talk to them.
What is our plan?
To try to find out if we can find the other entrance to the cave.
Right.
Perhaps burn the spiders.
on the entrance to the cave.
So how do you plan to find the entrance of this cave?
Alyn is going to talk to an animal, I guess.
Okay.
And
Alyn will need to roll perception then to see if she can find an animal.
I'm a little confused on what you want. Because I rolled 2 d20s, I got a 17 and then a natural 20.
So
For
which?
what?
Yeah. So what one? The greed or his reasoning?
For his greed. If his greed would be too much for him to handle, is what I was wanting to roll for.
So yeah, that would be too much for him to handle. I would said then with a 23.
Okay,
Holy
then,
shit.
if that is the case, then he will, at this point, be trying to figure out how he's going to get free because he needs to go in that cave. His blood is boiling, and it feels like he is on fire. He probably almost feels like he's on fire, so as
Yeah,
Nell,
he's probably a bit warmer for now.
yeah, so Nell will probably could feel his skin literally boiling, his blood boiling under his
Sweet.
skin.
So yeah, Nell, you're probably
burn
feeling
me?
like you're holding a hot poker or like a hot cup at this point.
Would it actually burn me?
No, it won't actually burn you, but the heat is intense.
But does it feel like it would burn me?
Yes, it feels like it would burn you.
Well, then I'm gonna let the fuck go, because my hands are a little bit sensitive with the
Well,
pads of my
wrong-
finger.
wrong move. As soon as you let go, Gillie's gone.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
can
Yeah, I
that's
am probably gonna let out a bit of a hiss and turn towards him as I let go, like, what the fuck?
He's not gonna be there by the time you look!
Yeah, all you see is the end of the red tail going into the cave itself, into the mine.
Oh,
Gone.
Kiira runs after them.
I
Alright.
will say, oh shit, and then also run after.
Alright, so
Someone
from
try to
what I
tackle me,
gathered,
please!
that's because the entire group is now running into the mine. Plan
Is the
forgotten.
entire group chasing after him?
Kiira, as she's running after Gillie, she takes a scale out and look, shiny.
No, it's too much. He rolled a natural 20. You do not understand.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have to
that's
physically
20
take
plus
him down.
3, so
So,
yeah,
are Alyn and Salvia also running after us? Or are they going to be smarter and not?
I mean, at this point, what are supposed to do? Like, wait until they all are
No,
eaten
any
by
math?
spiders?
Dumbfounded. You could just stand there dumbfounded, like, what just happened? Where did they go?
You,
Okay,
you
though.
two are the magic users. Do you know anything that would be able to help?
I have no idea. I can tell you what my things are. The fog cloud, speak to animals, cure wounds, druidcraft, mending, and silica. I have
What?
no idea what this word. Let me type it in.
yeah.
Druidcraft, the thing where you can make vines come out of the ground?
No, that's a different spell. Druidcraft is just the stuff like a part of your druid feature.
Ah,
It's part of the
Still-
class, not an actual spell.
okay.
These are my cantrips and my spells.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you probably sent me a picture.
You guys
I put
gotta
the word there.
understand, he's like 4'9", and this crystal's like 3 feet tall. It's almost as big as him, so... That's why I had to roll
Almost
the
3 feet
greed.
tall.
Yeah, I've
He-
just looked at your spells, May, and yeah, you've got nothing to stop him.
Okay.
And neither does Scarlet, I'm pretty sure. I know she's got the,
She's got
like,
the throwing of the fire,
Attack?
but I don't know if you want to burn him.
well, it wouldn't do shit anyway. He's tiefling.
Yeah.
Well, technically, the spider is an animal.
Technically, yes, it is.
Really?
but it would see you as food.
In
Well,
Which
if
just
you
makes
have
with your
yeah, put it this way, the difficulty would be quite high. Anyway, So, yeah, Gillie's run into this mine. Is Salvya and Alyn following, or are they still outside?
Well,
Salvia
Alyn kind of
will
looks at her and
Ki-
like, what?
Salvia will look at Ellie like, oh my god, not again. And be like, we should go, shouldn't we? So she will look a bit down with the situation, but sigh and say, okay, let's go then.
And for the point, they were a bit down the path, but Kiira would follow Gillie until the cave opening. She will not run inside the cave after him. She will run to the cave.
I would like to point out, Gillie does not know this mine, so he could go down any of these tunnels and hit a block end. Only Kiira and Alyn do, unless Gillie remembers the layout of the map.
He might. I would have to roll to see if he would remember. But he's, at the moment, really blinded by his greed.
Yeah, essentially he's following his nose.
Kiira will be
his instinct, man.
following them inside the cave, but not running anymore. But she will be running until the cave opening. That's
right.
when she stops
Gillie.
running.
I am much faster than Gillie.
Okay.
I should be able to catch up to him and pounce on him or something.
Note, my speed went up when I went to level 2. My speed is now 40. So are you sure you're faster than me?
I have, let's see, what's it called? Feline agility. I can double my move speed.
That you can.
Making my move speed 60.
But no,
Indeed.
because he is such greed, he will pull out his arsenal of, I'm going to be a ninja, and I'm going to try my best to stay away from you. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if his eyes started turning black from his greed, type of thing.
Yeah, but this is some kind of dexterity thing, right? If he tried to do a dodging thing and I tried to catch him?
Hang on, I'm just checking something for monks.
Versus monk. Go!
Right then, I am not going to go mention that to Spazzy, because then I think you don't think you'd catch Gillie at all.
Well, I know that I have a lot of speed in my arsenal.
Yeah, pretty much. If you use a key point, you're
oh, that's right! I have key points!
Yeah, you are level 2.
I am level 2! I forgot I was level 2. Like, I knew I was level 2, but I forgot I was level 2. Oh, yeah. He's not...
What else do I have here?
But yeah, no, Knell can try and pounce on Gillie, essentially. But essentially, it would be your dexterity versus Gillie's dexterity.
My dexterity is 16 naturally.
Mine is 18 naturally.
Yeah, so the pair of you would have to roll for it. It's contested.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna try to catch this little fucker.
I don't mind you trying to catch, but I have to play like he's going to try to get away from you.
Fuck!
I got 17! 20 with my modifier.
I got a 14, which is 18 with my modifier.
Oh.
You just miss him. You do a quick speed up and you pounce for him, but you miss him by the end of his tail. Damn. As he disappears down the winding loop down towards where the cave begins.
Sure, jump up and keep going.
I'm so sorry, guys.
I'm still a little bit mad at him, but at the same time, he apologized. He was sweet. I don't want him to die. I'm going after this fucking tiefling.
Can Gillie roll another wisdom for me?
Yes. $13. Oh no, wisdom. 16.
16. Your greed is still plaguing you, but the instincts you are following have begun to fade just slightly. So the way I see it, your greed works like a radar. So it's like you were actually heading towards where your greed was telling you these crystals were. But it's beginning to fade just slightly, but your greed is still essentially running through your veins. You are still heading in that direction. It's just you got a slight chance of being lost at this point.
Yeah, he really doesn't care about getting lost. He is determined to find these crystals that are apparently almost the size of him.
Yeah.
I only use feline agility once before I have to take a turn where I move 0. So I'm not going to be able to use that again. I'm going to be at my normal move speed of 30 now. And I'm probably going to start to lag behind him.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep his scent in my nose, and I'm going to keep my ears pointed towards him, and I'm going to attempt to keep following him anyway.
Alright. I'm
going to shout after him, maybe. But not like a shout, but a whisper, so like, Gillie!
Alright, I will say that you've got probably 3 turns before Gillie gets to that cave entrance.
I'm going the whole fucking way. I'm gonna keep following him. I do not want him to die on his own in a cave.
Yeah, so essentially you got three chances you can try and stop him. Is there anyone else who'd like to try?
Salvia will try to follow after him to try and catch him before he goes in the mine. And in the worst case, she will try to freeze his. Well, is he wearing shoes? Actually, I don't think so.
No, Gillie has got hooves. So barefoot, essentially.
Freeze like around to keep him in place for a moment.
You want to freeze the ground?
I have Ray Frost, so I thought I would try
go for it. You can use that.
But would I hurt him? I don't want to hurt him.
That is a point.
Extra hit points.
Everyone has extra
either he takes some frost damage or he dies.
I mean, I know, but I prefer if you save it for the spiders.
Essentially, it's what you roll in hit point, like how much damage Gillie takes. So essentially, you use the d20 to see if you hit him, and if you do hit him, then you roll whatever the damage dice is to see how much damage he takes. And if I remember correctly, Ray of Frost is a d6, so it's not high damage anyway.
Okay. So I would like to try that.
Alright, go for it.
So first,
the Frost.
First,
I think if you do that,
essentially, if he's stuck even for a moment, essentially anyone else has the chance to essentially tackle him down. Because he'll pretty much stop. Ray of Frost, here we go.
She could try to catch him before using the spell.
Okay, Scarlet, I'd like you to roll 1d20 for me.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, I got a 20.
A 20?
Yes, I did it in the dice roll. Dice myself.
Not eating on my bed.
Okay. Alright, you got a natural 20 plus stuff. Right. That's good and bad. So yeah, fair to say the spell hits at Gillie's feet and he's forced to stop. His feet are now frozen to the stone, Downside of this, I need you to roll 2 8-sided dice. You got a critical.
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
It's alright. It still could be less damage.
You say 8?
Yep, 8-sided dice. So you need to roll that one twice.
I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. Ah, a 6. Okay.
Okay, 6. Roll it. Roll another one.
Yes. 2.
There you go. So he took 8
8.
damage. He took 8 damage. Still,
I'm
yep.
sorry.
He's still around, but he's now stuck. He can't move.
And since I am the closest, I will whip off the little half cape thing that I'm wearing, and I will run up, wrap it around him, and hold on to him like.
Yeah, essentially, his speed has been reduced to 10. he's pretty much stuck. So you're grappling,
I'm
Gillie?
attempting to grapple, yes.
Alright, 2 strength contestants, because even though he's reduced to 10, he can still move. Very just.
Just know
Yeah, and
he's
I'm just
hissing.
trying to use my. I'm trying to use my cape so that he doesn't fucking burn me with his skin. Oh
Fair
fuck!
enough.
I rolled a 5.
His is 8.
Plus your strength modifier.
Let's see, what's my strength modifier? Oh, I'm proficient in strength. So,
Mhm.
8.
What did Gillie get?
Oh, hold on. Oh, my strength naturally is 8, so hold on.
See, you
He
got to
got
roll a
19!
strength.
He got 19!
Oh.
So
Okay,
apparently I was out of breath when I tried to grapple him.
Technically 18 because I have a -1, so 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
essentially, you fail at grappling him, but his speed is still reduced to 10. So everyone catches up to him pretty easily.
I'm apparently out of breath because I failed to grapple a 4-foot tiefling.
So yeah, I will point out that you are now in the room with the waterfall.
Then
And this is what I meant by everyone has like a last chance to stop Gillie completely before it gets to a problem.
Yeah, and I failed my grapple, so.
Yeah.
and I'm going to use a key point to use my wind because I'm slowed now, but I'm like, oh hell no, don't want to be slow, and
You're using Step of the Wind?
yes, so I can,
Step of the wind while frozen. Wow.
because he's slowed, and in his mind, all he can think about is he needs these crystals. And so he's going to try to continue forward, but he's slow, and he knows that if he's slow, someone's going to catch him.
Is he trying to go into the cave
He's
part
following
from the mine?
wherever his
Yes.
greed is going to. His greed is telling him it is this way. You must go this way to get what you want, and so that's what he's following.
So yes, he's heading towards the spider cave.
Since Salvia used the frost, Kiira will now try to tackle the tiefling.
Alright, roll strength for me. With your modifier.
Yeah. And 8 with a -1, so 7.
Okay.
Not looking good.
Gillie, roll strength with your modifier.
Got an 10 because I have a -1 on my strength. But as I said,
It's enough.
as soon as someone was trying to touch me, I'd be gone.
Yeah, we just gotta go through everybody first, and then the next turn starts.
Okay.
So yeah, that's another fail. So it's up to Alyn if she decides to do anything. Okay. I'm gonna do a emergency roll.
Yeah.
for Alyn. I'm trying to think. What would Alyn do?
Probably just try to tackle or trip
Yeah.
Tiefling.
Saw everyone else trying to tackle him and stop him. It would probably put the idea in her head, hey, I could tackle him too.
Oh my god. No,
But she was
especially when we're
following
in.
also with Salvia.
Right, let me just look at the strength. Okay, can I have Gillie please roll a strength with the modifier?
I got a 16.
Natural 20.
Awesome.
So Alyn succeeds and tackles Gillie to the ground.
Well, I said I was
Get
going to
burned by
use a
his
key
skin.
point to try to dodge as well. To use my sprint. You have to announce key point usage, and you can't use them after the fact, and that's why I've said multiple times he's going to be using a key point.
Since he didn't use
Yes.
an attack on the last turn, it is possible for him to prepare an ability.
Yes, it is possible to print it. And now that Alyn has, even though Alyn has succeeded, essentially, and has attached herself, to Gillie, Gillie can still use, which key ability are you using? Step of the Wind or Dodge?
Probably Step of the Wind, because next round he has his speed back, so.
That is a point. Right, okay. So, rounds are over. Alyn has succeeded and attached themselves to Gillie. However, obviously, at the start of the next turn, Gillie then starts to speed up using a key point. Their speed essentially doubles. And I just need Gillie essentially to roll another strength. I am sorry, because you got to essentially carry Alyn at the same time.
But with the whole key point usage, wouldn't
Essentially,
I have the
it's
chance
still-
to dodge
it's
before
still-
she even attached herself to me?
No, because you said Step of the Wind.
Yeah,
Not dodge.
Step of the Wind, not dodge.
Okay, so then I have to roll.
So essentially, even though you use the key point to use Step of the Wind, therefore doubling your speed, because of Alyn attached.
I got 19.
Fuck.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Oh, actually, it was 18 technically, so.
Yeah, so it still succeeds, but instead of your speed being 80, it's still 40.
Okay.
Due to the weight, essentially.
So I'm just
Of the
carrying.
grapple. Yeah, you're carrying Alyn with you.
The power of greed.
The power of greed.
Not even thinking about that dream anymore.
I'm so sorry.
So yeah, this turn, obviously you wanted to roll stealth as soon as you got into darkness, so roll stealth for me.
I would, if possible, set her down to do this as well, so.
Yeah, but is Gillie in the right enough mind to think to set Alyn down?
It would be more of a, I'm gonna chuck you now. You are not in my plans. So.
Yeah, it's not like
Gillie chuck Alyn, considering she's on his back.
Yeah, it's not like Gillie is carrying her bridal saddle or something.
Okay.
Yeah, like a piggy
Jumped
back.
on him and attached herself to his back. He's not carrying her in a traditional sense. She's the one holding on to him.
I got a 7 for my stealth on my roll. 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got a total of 10. It does make sense. I got a total of 10. Though with my modifier, so.
Yeah, that's not quite enough.
No.
So yeah, loud burst of noises, you enter the cave.
I feel really bad. I want to say that he stops, but because I'm afraid that they're going, because she's on my back, I'm afraid that the spider is gonna get her. I think she would dip out as soon as I started running, honestly. I don't, because she doesn't want to die.
Hang on, I've thought of a way to get around this bit.
Okay.
Just give me a chance. So, Gillie and unfortunately Alyn have run into the cave with the spiders. The rest of you get to the entrance of this, and all you see are about 16, 24, about 30 eyes.
Holy shit. Well, at
Bearing
least
in mind,
spiders have multiple eyes.
Yes, spiders have 8 eyes. I'm going with that method, so
Okay, and
think
also,
about that carefully.
I would like to say that as soon as I saw Gillie continue moving with Alyn on his back, I would pull out my sword and shield because I would know he'd be getting there.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Bear in mind your speed is halved because you're pulling out your sword and shield. That's the only consequence to it.
Yep.
It's like,
I gotta do it. I have to be prepared to fight.
yeah, but just like the consequence is your speed's been halved. But you get there still. You're still there.
Mhm.
So yeah, you see about 30 eyes just glow in the darkness, and they're all focusing down on Gillie and Alyn. Gillie has slowed to a stop. The darkness seems to encroach onto the two individuals. Hickory, Knell, and Salvya, you watch as these legs start to move down as these masses lower ever closer. And we will see what happens next time with the well-meaning procrastinators in A Knight's Tale.